Everyone, so today we're going to learn how to model fractions whenever we multiply them. So we're modeling their products. We're going to learn how to model their products when you multiply a fraction by a fraction, and we're also going to review how to model products whenever you multiply a fraction by a whole number. So just as a review, in the last video that we watched, we already know how to model a fraction multiplied by a whole number, and I took a snip and put that slide from the last video in here, and we're going to review that together. So we see that we have 6 times 2/3. This 6 right here is the whole number, and the 2/3 is my fraction. And this multiplication symbol that we see, that is also, whenever you say of, you're also saying multiplying in math. So we're thinking of it as 6 groups of 2/3. So I drew, or rather PowerPoint modeled, 6 groups. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I shaded 2/3 of each whole number, I guess you would say, and then I count up the individual yellow lines within each whole number. So whenever I do that, I get 12 out of 3, which gives me 4 if I simplify it. So that's how you model it with a whole number. But today we're going to learn how do we model a fraction multiplied by another fraction. So for our example, we're going to be multiplying 2/3 times 2/5. Okay, and I think it's a good idea before you model anything to go ahead and find the answer so that you know your model makes sense. So we know from the previous video that we multiply across, we multiply our numerators together and our denominators together. And whenever I do that, 2 times 2 gives me 4, 3 times 5 gives me 15, and that's already in simplest form. So I'm going to be modeling for the product 4/15. So in the previous slide, we said that 2/3 times 2/5 equals 4/15. I'm going to be rewriting this problem a lot, but it's just so that we can avoid confusion. So 2/3 times 2/5 equals 4/15. So you're going to draw a sketch or make a chart online like I'm doing to model. So this is the chart that I made. If I tried to draw that, it would be painful for both of us. So this is the chart that I already made. The chart has 15 parts in it. So I multiplied my dimensions at the bottom, the 3 and the 5 to get 15. I knew I needed 15 parts, or 3 columns and 5 rows and 3 columns. Either one is fine. So this is the model that I have drawn. We're going to shade the dimensions now. So we have 2/3 times 2/5. So when I shade, I think, what is 2/3 of 15? And what is 2/5 of 15? So I'm going to do that. Whenever I think of 2/3 of 15, that is going to be 10. So I could even go as far as to multiply to the side. So let me change my color. So 2/3 of, I could do 2/3 times 15 if I wanted to. So 2/3 times 15/1, and I get 30/3. Or if I think about my fraction like a division problem, it's 30 divided by 3. So I'm shading 10 pieces. So whenever you're shading, it's important to use 2 different colors. So my 2 different colors, I'm going to use green, and I'm also going to use purple. So I'm going to show my 10 with my purple. So I'm going to shade 10 spots. And it's important to shade them together, not all around, just for the modeling purpose. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I've shaded 2/3 of 15, which is 10 little pieces. Now I'm going to do the same thing with 2/5. So with 2/5, it's 2/5 of 15. So 2/5 of, which is multiplying 15, 15 over 1 as a whole number, and I get 30 over 5. And I know 30 divided by 5, because I'm thinking about my fraction like division, 30 divided by 5 gives me 6. And I'm going to shade 6 pieces with green. So showing 2/5, it's important to go 2 different directions. So I shaded 2/3 going vertically. Now I'm going to shade 6 pieces horizontally. So we have overlap here. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So I've shaded my 6 and I've shaded my 10. The answer is the part of the chart, or the model, I guess, that overlaps. So that part that overlaps is right here. And if you take the yellow part out of the whole shape, it gives you 4/15, which models our answer.